9:00, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good, happy Monday morning to all. First on the agenda is approve the minutes of August 14th as written.
I'll also move.
I'll second. Moved by me, seconded by McCurry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will abstain, I was absent. Next is to approve the minutes of Thursday, August 17th as written.
I so move.
I'll second. Moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Miscellaneous motions. Based upon the recommendation of the sheriff to authorize direct chairman to sign payroll notice for Travis Palmer, deputy full-time new hire, classification 40-9, wage starting at $24.07, effective 8/18/23.
I'll move it. I'll second that.
Moved by Hugan, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We are at, so we're supposed to do this at a certain time.
Yeah, just have to go into it. Pretty much. Now,
Move to enter into revenue neutral hearing for Coffee County Fire District Number 1 at 9:02 a.m. for the purpose of allowing all interested taxpayers desiring to be heard an opportunity to give oral testimony.
So move.
Oh, second.
Moved by Hugoton, seconded by Meeks. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Is there anybody wanting to express their feelings towards the revenue neutral for the Fire District Number 1? Public comment. Let the record show nobody has chosen to speak. Move to close the public hearing at 9:03.
I so move. I'll second that.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by Hugoton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Move to enter into revenue neutral hearing for Coffee County at 9:03 a.m. for the purpose of allowing all, my lines are moving, allowing all, now I'm way lost. Purpose of allowing all interested taxpayers to hear an opportunity to give oral testimony. I will move. I'll second. Moved by Knight, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Any public comment for Coffee County? Going once, going twice. No public comment. Move to close public hearing at 9:04.
I'll move.
Moved by McCurry,
I'll second. Go ahead, Wade.
seconded by Thompson.
Got lots of moving going on.
Moving and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Move to approve resolution number 875A, a resolution of Coffee County, Kansas to levy property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate.
I'll make that motion.
This is for the this is for Coffee County
Mhm.
Fire, okay.
I'll second.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Meeks. Any discussion?
You said this is for the fire.
That's
This
fine.
is for the
county.
fire.
No, this is for the,
Okay.
no, this is.
No,
for the
this
county.
is for Coffee County. Oh,
I
Coffee County.
didn't think we were exceeding.
Well, and in this, it states in the resolution, is that correct,
Yes.
Angie? It states in the resolution.
Down about the 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph, whereas the governing body of the County of Coffee, having heard testimony, finds it not necessary to exceed the revenue neutral rate. Phil reworked this resolution for you, but the way the resolution reads at the very top says that we are exceeding, but he said that even though we're not, it might be good to go ahead and do it
Because of
if the,
possibly,
Our valuation
Our
would have to
valuation
drop,
will
then we
go-
might
will
have
drop
to,
down.
correct?
but it does state that we are not exceeding, so.
This is one of those deals where Phil said it needs to be done this way, but yet it's confusing the way the process has to work. So
Right.
that is the way I understood it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily's back there shaking her head, yes.
Do we need to have her?
And go ahead and have her speak if you want.
If you'd like to speak, Emily, that would be great to kind of go towards the difference in.
So
wording.
Emily Franks, Jared Gilmore Phillips, standing in for Phil, who's out today. But yes, you are coming up to the same dollars for revenue neutral. You're not technically exceeding, but you're meeting, and so you're passing the resolution so that you can get the same assessed dollars if that valuation were to decrease come November.
Okay.
Helps explain it for the public. So,
You know, the last 4 years, I think, when I was looking it up and trying to put some figures together last week, there has been a slight decrease in evaluation in the last 4 years, but that evaluation decrease is very, 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 very minimum.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't remember the percentage, but I'm not sure it's even 1 or 2%.
Yeah, it's just making sure you're getting those dollars.
okay. It was, moved by McCurry, seconded by Meeks. Any other discussion? Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye, motion passes. Can we sign this now?
Mhm.
Do we need to read the complete resolution
You can,
or just the highlight at the top?
however you want to do it.
I would say if somebody wants, I mean, the highlight at the top would probably be
And we've already discussed what's in
in
the
the,
resolution, so.
if somebody wants it, they can come request resolution number 875A. And it'll be published in the paper, I'm sure. That's the next one. So everybody gets done on that.
Emily, I see you got a stack of papers there, 3 or 4. Is that something different than what we've already had from last week?
No, this is the accumulation of about the last 5 years budget work paper.
Okay.
It's your file cabinet.
Yep.
Okay, all that was signed. Moving on to the fire district. Motion to approve resolution 876A, a resolution of Coffee County Rural Fire District Number 1, Kansas, levy a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate. I will move.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? Randall, I had a phone call this morning. What was I remember, but I don't remember the reason for the increase. Was it equipment? Is that what it was?
Maintenance, repairs, utilities, payroll.
Okay. Just pretty much everything that goes along with everyday business. No big purchases or anything was coming up on the.
No, we did add a little bit more in the capital outlay for our normal budget, but other than that, it was pretty much here and there for all items.
Okay. Moved by Knight, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion, any further discussion? Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Resolution 876A. No.
Probably not. I think the commission will find that.
Here's the first one.
Yeah.
I got it figured out.
Okay.
Nope, you got it, go to agency again.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, next, budget hearing motions. Move to enter in budget hearing at 9:12 a.m. for the purpose of hearing and answering any questions of taxpayers related to the proposed use of all funds and the amount of 2023 ad valorem tax. Public comment is opened. Oh, sorry.
I'll second.
Moved by Huguet and seconded by Meeks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Now, public comment is open for 2023 budget. Going once. Going twice. Public comment is closed. 9:13.
Also move.
I'll second. All in favor say aye. Aye, motion passes. Move to approve the 2024 Coffee County budget as published.
Also move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Huguet, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion?
Just, we had a special meeting last Thursday to discuss all this, so I think we're all in agreement, we've all got it hashed out, so that'd be why there isn't much discussion, because we did have that special meeting on Thursday, so. I think everybody's fully aware of where we are and where we stand, so. So I throw that out there.
Yeah. Good deal.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Do we need to sign anything now, or just keep on going? Okay. Move to approve 2024 Coffee County Fire budget is published.
Also move.
I'll second. Moved by Meeks, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye, motion passes.
Having all that discussion Thursday, shortened the day up.
Shorten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't wanna have to do it Thursday, but I think it was,
Should be good idea.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Give us some time to discuss things.
Right. You need to have people sit here waiting for this to get done. Whatever.
Well, if you save all your discussion for this time, you kind of lose where you're at. You,
Right, right. We're feeling rushed.
oh, yeah. Have no money, can't sign checks. Well, we're still through that. I guess we do have a little.
We heard that easy today.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, man, I wasted a trip up here for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much said, yeah, that's right.
I can send everything in the
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all.
Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for-
Yeah.
Drive safe.
You got anything to add today, Randy?
Oh, sir.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
You don't have to leave.
Hey,
You're welcome to stay.
go back and do some paperwork, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
you. Have a good
Take
day.
care.
Take care, Randall. Yeah, by being here last Thursday for an hour or so, it really expedited everything here
Well,
today.
yeah, we were able to discuss it and
I'm not sure how we
hash it out.
did, not sure how we did it last year, but this sure expedited everything.
Sure did.
And you were able to get a hold of,
Do you have something you wish to share
you
with us?
were able to get a hold of,
You know, and
Dale on,
did I
On the phone.
hear you pass the
Dale,
budget
or,
total?
Phil.
Yeah, that worked good.
That worked good.
Mine was about that, I just wanted.
I really like,
because
I really like Phil, I think they do us a good job.
I wrote.
They do the
am
city of Leavenworth.
Treasurer of the, Aging of the Council,
Okay.
Council on Aging,
Okay.
Senior Center.
Okay.
And I just want to be here to answer any questions you have. But it sounds like you already got some answers.
Yeah, I think everything went through just fine.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it then.
Thanks for being here, Jordan.
All right.
Seats for the Maker's Corn tournament.
Oh, my gosh. They'll be coming out, some of the schools will be coming out the first of September.
Yeah. Decoy got their first foot in last Thursday or Friday.
Did they?
But they're normally 10 days ahead.
Right.
That's funny how they can make that much difference, no further away.
No further away
The
than
one
it
thing
is.
is they plan it down about 10 days over the weekend for insurance, and so
I see.
they
Can
get
we
their
discuss that?
I
Because
see.
I'm sure there's gonna be more questions other than questions.
stuff.
Same question I
They
had.
Get about 10 day jump on there.
It has to do with the state capers and the county capers reimbursement.
I don't know how early they can plan it.
Is that right?
10 or 15 days ahead.
Getting paid for kids
April 1st are always ready to go.
Oh,
when he missed
Yeah.
death.
okay.
And they came back and said
Can't do it.
he should have changed to them.
We got a few guys that put in a couple, 3 days.
Same question, I thought, what is this? But I figured everybody would probably have the same question.
We don't need to have,
So you're saying this is good? Yes.
we don't need to go in and, I just need extra originals for Brad.
Oh, signatures?
Yeah.
But I wasn't here,
Oh, okay.
so that would
Yeah.
go to Paul,
Yeah.
or everybody,
Yeah.
everybody that's here.
Yeah. I just need extra original on the reports from last week. So we don't need to go in your canvas or anything. I just missed getting an extra original set.
from the town.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Brad was gone and had his new grandbaby.
Really? I'll be darned. No bueno. She said she needed extra copies, signatures.
Yeah.
For
Just anywhere.
Jack, yeah. There's 2 of them. I just need another set of originals. Maybe we should do this. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they all need to sign.
Oh, they'll,
Yeah. Raising agreement.
Is Road and Bridge still doing the cookout, or?
Usually,
Oh.
that's kind of what's all there, and kind of continue that tradition.
Hamburgers, hot dogs?
The employee thing, September.
I think everybody's in agreement, yeah.
Is that, spouses too for that? Or not? I'm just,
I know Thanksgiving is, I don't know that they,
they didn't say
I
that.
don't know if they did.
I don't remember seeing any
Yeah.
spouses at
They
the,
didn't say it on the
Yeah.
invitation, so I'm just curious.
But you guys can change that.
well, it makes a big difference on the amount of food that
Yeah.
you're prepared for. I think we could just keep employees only, I think.
Just an extra set, wait.
Pardon me?
Just sign both as an extra set is all.
Oh, okay.
This is Waverly Senior Center, they got that work completed.
I don't know, I haven't looked. I went and looked when they were laying it up, and I haven't been back.
Been a little preoccupied.
I've been preoccupied. Anything lying down out west? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Different.
What are we gonna do till 10 o'clock?
so I was looking, Rick Wade wants to do his discussion. So we got EOC training at 11,
Yes,
we go down there.
yes.
We adjourn.
You'll either adjourn or recess if you're wanting to come back for a work session. You will adjourn to go, or you'll recess to go to the training, or you will adjourn to go to the training.
How long is that train supposed to last?
It's 1 hour.
I've got to leave at 11:30 or before, so.
Does it wait to have an executive session?
You want me to go get it?
You might, I was looking to see if that's
Seems like we
right.
haven't said something about Lockerbie or.
Music separate, right?
They're
there.
separate, yeah.
Those are just extra copies of
Oh.
the election canvas of the election. You won't do anything until, another week, I'm gonna have something to do. iCloud still hasn't sent me down all my contacts or anything. It said 12 to 15 days.
You know, you'd think that'd be 12 or 15 minutes. Some
You'd
of us
think.
do need our contact and everything, you know.
Just remember your username and password, that's all I can say.
Okay. I don't know it, but maybe
Better
somebody
be,
does.
better be finding that out,
Okay.
let me tell you, 'cause if you don't have it, you don't get anything, but a hard time,
Yeah.
and the runaround.
I'm the one that pays the bill, you know who I am then.
Yeah. Been 2 weeks ago tonight, 14 days.
But as far as you know, you're still able to get, I mean, you're going to be able to get.
That's what they tell me, I'm losing faith every day. Over 30 years of phone numbers. I can get back probably 20 years of them from my son's phone, but the last 10's been the tough one. He wound up with all my contacts some way, shape, or form when he got his phone. But I don't wanna go through and pull all them in and then iCloud send everything down, then I've got
Oh, I know,
duplicates to
to
deal
take care
with.
of, yeah.
Wonder how these air conditioners in these schools are gonna work today.
I think mine shut off all weekend.
Yeah, mine was, it was cycling pretty good yesterday. Shut down for about 15 minutes and kicked back on.
It shut down when the sun went down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're ahead of schedule.
Guys are moving.
We're moving right along, Wade.
Thursday's meeting, Healthy Village.
Yes.
Got some spare time, you know.
What time is the next one?
10 o'clock.
Oh, so you got a little extra time. So what do you want to do?
We didn't know if you had anything
Meeting.
other than your 10:30. We didn't wanna put you on the spot, no, we can't put you on the spot.
I'm always put on the spot.
So you're used to.
Yeah, so we could, do one of two things. Option one, give you a little bit of an update from our parking situation from last week. Commissioner Egan and I did that, unless you were gonna do that during roundtable. And if you know what I'm referencing, where USC 244 put out signs just to the south here, we had myself, Commissioner Huguenin, some city officials, and school officials all meet, look at a map sort of help aid and assist when in question, and I think that situation has been resolved. So anybody can park there. It's an open area. The recommendation is the county fleet vehicles be parked in the southernmost part of that angled part. That's
pretty much, yeah, what we come up with.
So, I think there was just some confusion is what it really came down to. But everybody worked well together, and then there were some issues identified with the parking that we're trying to work on, the new parking that was put in, that are being worked on behind the scenes. And really what it comes down to is, in heavy rain, the drainage of water is different now because the landscape of the land is significantly different. So the city had some spots that were identified, and we're working with the city to try to figure out how to remedy some water issues. Is that a fair way to say that?
Yeah, after discussion on the parking, I went for a walk with Mark Davison, street superintendent. Basically from the alley there at the church parking, I call it, to that area inlet, this side of Hudson Street, south side of Hudson Street. There's no defined channel, if you will, so that water is just running at will, going wherever, and that's what's washing out that one too. So city would do whatever, but they didn't want to impede upon whether that was still fell within the original contract that needs to be accomplished or what. So I think some discoveries being done by Wade with River City to maybe get that resolved, if you will, as to where his responsibility starts and stops, so to speak, for lack of better terminology at the moment. But also, same token, street superintendent Mark Davison asked, there's a ditch just north of the church parking, south side of the alley, where he thinks he can deter that water by us allowing him to bore in the backside of that storm inlet in the northeast corner of the parking lot and put an area inlet there and pipe that water into that inlet, which would take away a lot of water heading that direction. So
Catch it right at the park.
catch it before it hits.
Before it can go north.
Yeah.
Across.
And so I told him, I said, as far as I know, it wouldn't be a problem. I mean, they're gonna do it themselves. They're not asking for us to do anything. The only thing they're asking is, as far as the road right away, if you will, from the alley north, whose responsibility would it be to get something more defined, to channel that water to that box, as opposed to just running rampant.
The box seems too high to me, but maybe they could do something to raise everything else to channel it to it.
Oh, I think so. There's enough fall there, I think.
It's gonna have to raise the banks to make it go
Exactly.
to that, though.
Because like I say, it's just flat now, so
Right
when
now,
water
it's
comes
just
out there,
going-
it just
shooting in.
goes wherever it wants.
Yeah, that's the way it looked to me. So that's gonna be an email that will be sent, and hopefully, include River City, the engineer, Commissioner Huguenin, and, Mark Davidson from the city, and try to figure that out. Obviously, that parking and the drainage issue was intended to make that a whole lot better, especially, I guess, be considered an upgrade, especially with the jail, since a lot of that water will be flowing down that way too, but I think unintentionally, it created another issue that now has to be looked into.
And he showed me another picture of, Neosho Street, the road just north of the courthouse, where he said it's never done it before, but water actually ran out into Neosho Street. We're assuming just because of the angled parking that was created and some changing of things, it's more water can run. So in design of the jail, there was a junction box, if you will, put out there in the exit lane, I call it, leading from the parking lot we have now. And that's gonna be where the downspouts off the new jail tie in to the storm sewer system, and then they pipe over to that box out there on the northeast corner. But with that amount of water that he was witnessing, he's asking if during the final design phases, if an area inlet could be put out there in the gutter, if you will, on the Neosho Street to catch most of what's coming off the hard surface. Makes sense. That's about one place we can be coming from, so, yeah.
And I think right now there's the communication and dialogue between the county and the city is pretty good. I think attending and going to the city council meetings and asking questions, getting the city council's input and feedback, I think is the right move, and it helps to, I mean, it's a big project, county project, but it also affects the city, and the city needs to be involved as much as possible. One of the things that when Tom and I were down dealing with the water issue, when the water got shut off, was the city wants to know what they need to do on their end, if anything, as it relates to fire hydrants, the diameter, and how that will impact potentially what they have and the pressures, and that's, you know, something that needs to be addressed up front instead of at the very back end, and then you have to go in and tear something up to address it when it could have been addressed up front. So, just an example. So, I'll say we can maybe start with a 15-minute executive session. That'll get you to your 10 o'clock, but it may require coming back later. I don't know if we can. So I need to.
Here.
15-minute executive session.
Oh, okay.
Myself, the board, non-elected personnel, evaluation, performance. And that'll get us 10 o'clock.
I'll make that motion. For 15 minutes, Wade, 15 minutes.
Yes.
I'd second that.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Thompson, 15-minute executive session, the board and Wade. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We'll enter at 9:41 for 15 minutes. It's 9:39. Grew in peoples. Well, I say we're close enough for road and bridge. Ryan, you're up.
Okay.
Oh, no action, less executive session.
How's everybody this morning?
Good.
Great.
Keeping cool in here, so,
Trying, yeah.
I was gonna ask you if you were keeping cool.
yeah, so far,
Kind of.
so far. We didn't have any call-outs this last weekend. Last Thursday, we did have one, pass them around, one accident with a tractor, got laid over on the side. So we're still evaluating the damage on that, but it'll be out of commission for a while. Nobody was hurt, thank goodness, but a little bit of a chore getting it upright and back out of the ditch here. But,
Just too much of an incline, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Incline?
yeah, that's what it was. Just kind of went out from underneath and slid over and down, so.
I felt that a couple times yesterday.
Do what?
Felt that a couple times yesterday mowing the pond dams.
Sliding around a little bit.
Sometimes just a little bit of a hole or anything.
No, that's,
Get a little movement started and then.
yeah, that's what it was.
You were setting more to the high side, is that?
Said a lot to the high side. Like about the band and ship high side. I was walking the plank.
So really the only thing I have is just, we've been talking about this resolution for the landfill, for quite some time. I know we reviewed it, went over some pricing. The only thing I've changed on this resolution from last time was I added in the Woodson County Transfer Station, a line in on this one at $26.50 per ton. Other than that, the numbers all stayed the same from previous discussions, what we discussed last time, so I can answer any questions we may have, or, but we can do that resolution if you guys are ready.
With Woodson County bringing up as much as they do, have you visited with them at all? They were proposing to change it.
Yes, I have, and he was,
I think it's probably good to make a visit, so.
no, I've been in touch with him, and I'll send him a copy of this and the effective date. You know, once it goes through, he wants some of that information so he can pass it on to his board, but he was very, very appreciative of the rates that we're looking at keeping them at, or moving them to, I guess. They are going up a little bit, but
They were comfortable with
yes,
that.
yeah,
Good, good.
yeah.
Okay. A motion to approve resolution number 498H, as in Henry, a resolution revising the landfill fees for Coffee County.
I'll move.
Moved by McCurry,
I'll second.
seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
All right, thank you.
So we've been reviewing that for some time, so I think it's good to get it,
Yeah, thank
move
you.
on, and get it behind us.
Yeah, thank you for putting the work in.
No, sure, and like I said, we'll probably continue to evaluate this every year, and, probably every couple of years, there may be minor increases we need to be doing. But just kinda, we'll keep up with the surrounding counties and what they're charging, and keep comparing them to what we're charging, and
Right.
make changes as needed, so. That's all I had today.
How's the truck orders? Have you guys, I'm assuming you guys did place the orders on the
They've
trucks?
been put in, yep, that's about all I know.
No new dates, delivery, nothing set
No.
in stone?
Nope. So probably at some point, we need to discuss about the two trucks we're gonna get rid of. You know, we're gonna auction them off. You know, there'll be, we can do an online auction, or we could wait till there's a county auction. It kind of would be up to you guys what your preference may be there, but maybe we can talk about that at a later date, do some thinking on that, what you may like to see done there. But, we've done anywhere from Purple Wave to offering stuff in county auction only, so. Just-
Purple Wave works pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we've done Purple Wave, and we've used a couple different ones. We used a local outfit last time.
Local
I
last
think.
year.
Heartland.
Heartland. Yeah.
But they're not available now, I don't think.
No, I think they're done, but,
Yes.
Still come
so,
out pretty good though, if I remember right.
yeah, not bad on some of the stuff, so.
Here lately, it's been kinda hard to mess up selling anything, though. There's a good market.
For everything.
I would say probably the sooner the better to get the disposal ready would be my guess, and get it on auction time or Purple Wave or something to get more viewers. I would say anyway, I don't know.
Okay.
I'd be fine with Purple Wave. or
Yeah, I would too.
Whichever you prefer.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them we've been talking to, so I'll get some of that information maybe next week or so, bring that, present it to you guys and let you know what we're thinking on that, so.
You know, Purple Wave, which I've never been involved in one, but doesn't Purple Wave, they charge the buyer, so, what's Big Iron do?
They had no buyer's premium.
They have
Purple
no
Wave's,
buy- no buyer
Purple Wave's 10% buyer's premium, plus probably charge us commission. Big Iron's gonna be cheaper.
Big Iron?
Big Iron is.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I use. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's what everybody has
No,
to
that's-
use, but I mean, myself as a buyer, I kinda have an aversion to that buyer's premium system, but you know, I mean, it's more commission, no matter how
Right.
you look at it.
Right.
You know, there's not many buyers that can't figure out that paying 10% more of it, they need to take that much off of the purchase price, you know.
I didn't know which one would net the most for us, cause I've got,
Flip a coin, I mean, the money's gonna get made somewhere there, I mean, so,
Can you put them on, I guess you can't put them on both though.
what's that?
Can't put them on both though.
No, I don't believe so. No. But yeah, I'll bring some of that information next week or two.
Okay.
I get called in later, Ryan, since you're here, south of Leroy, about probably 3/4 of a mile on Reaper, there's a 45-mile-an-hour speed zone.
Okay.
Sign land down.
Okay,
I didn't see it until yesterday, so
okay,
it's on the west side of the road.
all right, I'll pass that information on.
Kinda hard to see 'cause it's in the weeds.
Yeah.
Another something I was gonna ask you about, I don't remember what it is now, so. Painting crew, striping crew, that'll
That'll
come after the folks.
Yeah, we'll have the fog seal first. Yep. Good. Probably be October-ish before they get here.
Are we supposed to approve this employee appreciation picnic?
We'll talk about it, yeah.
Well,
Oh.
if they're gonna cook, I
Oh,
didn't know
yeah.
if it would affect him.
Well, we created this last week, so typically, when we do the employee appreciation picnic, it's always that Monday after OK Kids, is what it's typically been. So if you guys wanna do that again this year, it would be September 11th. And so we've reserved the 4-H building tentatively until we got your guys' approval, and then will you guys still do the cooking like
Sure.
usual? Okay.
As long as it's
So,
not 110 degrees.
You won't need the grill since it's hot as a sit for a few days.
Put the burgers on the sidewalk.
That's just what I was gonna say, lay 'em on the pavement out there.
Hopefully by then, like, this heat wave will.
That's sure, if it ain't, we are in deep trouble.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I brought that up, is you were here,
Yeah,
we usually have you cook for what?
sure, we'll cook again.
Okay.
so we'll send out the notice to all departments and, get things ordered.
That works with you guys.
Sure,
Okay.
we'll make it work. So,
Did you guys find this yet? Did I get that?
Nope, we have not signed the resolution for the
Better find
landfill.
that for you.
Yeah, didn't want you guys to schedule something and not know, you know.
right. So, all right, well, I appreciate your time, guys.
I'll
Thank
send
you.
a copy
you.
out.
Sounds good.
Very cool.
All right, have a good day.
Take care. That was too long. Yeah, this is it. Oh, yeah, that, yeah. I guess we can go ahead and do our Southeast Kansas Housing Director Petty, sorry, I gotta put my glasses on,
Okay,
Sandburn. Sanborn.
Patty and Sanborn. I'm the director of SEK Incorporated.
Welcome.
It was founded in 1957 with a group of businessmen who thought they needed more industry in southeast Kansas. And over the years, we've evolved into something completely different. Because now we need CTE, workforce development, housing, and childcare are our three main goals at this time. I've brought with me two of my board members, Jerry Hammerschmidt and Rhonda's on my board, which I'm very thankful for. You guys are very blessed to have such a wonderful housing person. I did not know that the housing in the rest of our counties, most of them were just for low-income housing. And Rhonda does an amazing job. We're having a housing conference, and I'm going to have Jerry talk to you. She's the co-chairman of the housing conference. We're having it in Independence on November 11th and 15th. 14th to 15th. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let Jerry talk to you. Hammerschmidt, she's with First Step Builders.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. So amazingly enough, Patty and I are headed up to Kansas City when we leave here. Well, yeah, that's true. Rhonda's going too. We're all going up to Kansas City to the State Housing Conference, and basically it's 3 days of a whole lot of information about housing, not only from the development side, but also low-income side, and it covers just a plethora of things that go on. But I attended a few years ago, which is when I met Rhonda the first time. And one thing that I took away from that meeting was you get basically a 30,000-foot view about housing. You get all this information, but when you leave there, you don't really know what to do with the information that you just got. And so through SEK Inc., we were talking to some local legislators, and he said, you guys have to form a housing coalition if you want to be heard in Topeka. Nobody's going to listen to just one county at a time. So with SEK Inc. representing 12 counties, we got together and we formed a housing coalition. And through that coalition and listening to the needs of the communities and the challenges that everyone is having, we decided that it would be beneficial to everyone that we represent to form a housing conference more locally, more drilled down. And so in November, we're going to have this housing conference for SEK Inc., where we're going to explain to commissioners, city managers, economic development people, honestly, anybody that wants to come, how you get your communities and your county set up for the housing that everybody desperately needs. So we're going to discuss land banks. We're going to discuss the moderate income housing grants. We're going to discuss tax credits. We're going to discuss historical criteria and information. And by the time they're done, we want them to know, how do I form a land bank in my area? And it's crucial, and the reason that we wanted to come and visit with you all is because a lot of times you guys all have a lot of different hats that you wear. Your city managers typically wear more than one hat. They know that housing is a need in their area, but by the time they're done stomping out fires by the end of the day, they haven't had any time to really focus on it and drill down. And so recognizing that your housing and your daycare and your workforce is all tied to economic development, we felt that it was important that we let you all know about the conference, what the focus is, and why it's important that you have representation there. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Okay, any questions?
That 14th happens to be our FEMA graded exercise with Wolf Creek,
Oh,
which takes in
that's a big one.
all of us plus, plus some department heads too, so.
Well, the good news for Coffee County is you've got Rhonda on board. And
definitely gonna be tied up on the 14th.
yeah. Yeah, and it was hard, honestly, trying to pick a day that we thought was going to be good. It's as successful as we hope that it will be. This is something that we'll be doing annually and being able to offer to people because, you know, the challenge is we don't have contractors And everybody needs housing, and you're not gonna get your housing overnight. This is gonna be something that's gonna take years and years and years because it's been neglected that long. But we have to start somewhere, and we decided that we're finally gonna start it. And we're just gonna hope for the best. I've been able to help get, right now, about 18 houses in Neodesha. It's new construction through the company that I work for. We're getting ready to work on a project, hopefully in Cherryville. I'm also working with Fredonia and Humboldt. And so as part of my job, I consult with cities. How do you get housing to your community? And then if they need a developer, then our company comes in and we bring them the houses as well. And so I know that we visited with, I can't remember his name, but
Mike Skillman.
Yep. And he talked about great plans that Coffee County has. So I think you guys are probably covered. But if there's anything that we can do for you, you know, we'd love to do that as well. But we just mainly wanted you all to be aware of what we were trying to do and why.
Well, I know housing is a big issue in all counties, it seems like. You know, the population grows, but it's harder and harder to get somebody to sell 10 acres of ground and have utilities on it, and for somebody to build on, you know, because of the expense that is happening right now.
Well, the problem is as you recruit industry and business into your area, that's great. You can bring jobs all day long, but if they don't have a daycare to put their kids or a house that they can sleep in at night, they will go other places, which is why a lot of these smaller communities are challenged because their younger folks are having to go to other areas to get what they need.
And you said daycare, and daycare is huge point.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I know a little restaurant in Fredonia that just closed, and then the day that she told me she was closing, it was because she cannot find childcare. She's moving to Wichita. You know, you would think, how hard is it to get a safe place to put your kids? But it's huge. So there's also daycare coalitions that have been formed all across SEK Inc. And Patty and I are members of several of those. And, you know, it's one of those things where you try to encourage these people to not consider themselves babysitters. They're actually business owners, run it as a business, treat it as a business, you know, and hopefully they can get the support that they need. But that's also going to take industries and businesses investing in these daycares as well, because you can't pay people $10 an hour to babysit your most valued possessions when you can go to Casey's and make $15 an hour selling gas and cigarettes. I mean, it's a problem. So, you know, we have to weigh all of the options. And so one thing that I'm glad that they're doing is trying to get the word out to the communities as well as the current providers is that you truly are a business owner. And, you know, it's tied to your economic development. And so anything that businesses and industries can do to support the housing and the daycare initiatives, the better off their workforce is going to be and the better off your communities are going to be.
Yeah, it's something I hear, daycare. Constantly.
Yeah.
And then housing.
Yeah.
We got one just across south of us, and I think they're basically full, and they've done that all, what, 2 years and a half, 2 years?
And they probably have a
So
huge waiting list.
That tells you the demand, tells you the demand is absolutely out there.
Well, Child Care Aware can get you statistics for your county. I know in Montgomery County right now, there's 1,000 needed spots. Like there's 1,000 kids waiting on a daycare spot right now. I know there's 400 in Wilson County. So if you open up, and I mean a good center, a big center, could maybe take care of 100 kids, and that's not even a drop in the bucket for what either of those counties need. And then you look at the amount of businesses that are being recruited to these areas. Well, if the daycare need and the housing need is already there, and now we're creating new jobs, that means we're looking at bringing outside people in. Well, what are they going to do? So it's good that everybody's recognizing it. I'm glad the state's finally starting to throw money at grants for daycare and housing initiatives like the tax credits and grant funding, but we got a long way to go.
Like you say, it's been pushed under the table for too long.
Yeah.
Definitely something that's needed.
And David Toland will be a guest speaker at the housing conference.
Well, thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Have safe travels
Thank you.
and learn a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is there the same subject both days, or is it, it's
different.
a two-day meeting? Okay, thank you.
We'll have different speakers, we'll have round tables where people can say, okay, here's my challenge, how do I get around this? As well as the workshops, basically to walk people through each step of the different things we discussed, like land banks and the grant funding and all that.
Interesting.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gals.
Thank you very much.
Have a safe trip to Kansas City and stay cool.
Yeah, that, right?
I hope the hotel's there.
Anybody need a 10-minute break? Got time for a 10-minute break. Don't we? Yeah. Take a 10-minute break. Come back at 10:30. Well, 11-minute break. Come back at 10:30.
This is for,
Alright, 10:30, discussion of sale of Sunset Manor. Drum roll.
so, handing out a proposed resolution.
I nominate Wade Bowie to read the resolution.
All right, so for talking points purposes, to walk down the winding road that's been traveled to get here. Originally, the hospital operated this real property as Sunset Manor. It was closed down. The decision was made by the hospital board to sell. The county intervened because it has to be sold by the county because it's in the county's name. Also, during that same timeline, because anytime you sell real property or anything with a value of a certain amount, you have to follow legal procedure. That procedure is found in KSA 19-211. 19-211 has a process, or KSA 19-211B allows the board to create a resolution that sets forth the parameters in which the county wants to dispose of any kind of property. And if you recall, Coffee County Resolution 900, this board adopted, and that's the path that, moving forward, the board decided to travel down to dispose of Sunset Manor. At that same time, Trust Point was involved as the real estate agent to shop this property, and it was listed on a commercial real estate listserv that Trust Point has access to at the same time. And if you recall, and I remember, Don, you asked questions about it, the assessed value of that property was somewhere around $840, but it was either, I believe Ms. Trimble came in and indicated, although that's the assessed value, that property had been gutted, for lack of better wording, and I think maybe you went out and took a look at it at one point. And obviously that impacts what the value is. So the decision was made with the advice of the real estate company to list the property for $600,000. So everybody following along, is that what you recall? Okay. So that went out, sealed bids were requested, and one single sealed bid came in. And that sealed bid was opened, but the offer not disclosed on June 19th, 2023. And the reason why it wasn't disclosed is if things broke down during the negotiation process so that some other potential bidder or buyer wouldn't have a competitive advantage. And then the board made a decision to counter the offer provided by the sealed bidder, and that counter offer was later accepted with certain special conditions, and that gets us to where we are. So last week, on Friday, with the authorization of the board, the chairman participated in closing for the property. So now this is to formalize that transaction and sort of to maybe open up the curtain to talk about numbers, conditions, and those types of things. The resolution that's in front of you is 2023-910. Specifically, that is a resolution that deals with going through exactly what I just talked about, that process and the ultimate disposal of that real property on behalf of the county. It has the legal description, it has sort of the mechanism that the county used to dispose of that property under Coffee County Resolution 2023-900 and KSA 19-211B, that the board is authorized to transact for all the county business, perform all powers of local legislation and administration, including selling and conveying of real estate owned by the county. That's under KSA 19-101. It discusses where the county publicly sought bids for the purchase of the property, and those were published in Coffee County Republican as required under resolution, with an initial listing price of $600,000, that there was a single sealed bid received and opened on June 19, 2023, with a bid and special conditions submitted by Associated Building and Investment Group, Inc., the bidder. And fast forward to present time, the counteroffer and the accepted sales price was $550,000. That's what the board agreed to, and the special conditions that also followed along with the property. Seller, county agrees to provide backup generator, but no installation to that backup generator. Seller agrees to leave the vent hood in the kitchen, and then the buyer agrees to have an inspection for their knowledge only. And if they came up with something during the inspection, they could walk away, which didn't happen. So all of the documents that tie to the sale, including the real estate contract, the settlement statement, and all associated documents, are in possession of the county. They'll be housed with the county clerk. If somebody wants to come in and make a request for those documents, they can do so. In essence, what needs to happen or occur right now is for the board to consider the pending resolution, which is captioned, "A resolution declaring that certain real estate owned by Coffee County is no longer usable for its intended purpose and cannot prudently be used for public purposes of the county, and authorizing sale of said property." The highlights and what is being resolved: 1, the counteroffer with conditions as set forth by the board based on the original sealed bid by Associated Building and Investment Group in the amount of $550,000 with certain special conditions is accepted. 2, the sale and disposition of said property occurred in accordance with the commercial real estate contract signed by the parties, in accordance with the settlement statement, warranty deed, and other related documents executed by the chairman, with the approval of the board at the scheduled closing on August 18, 2023 at Coffee County Land Title. 3, upon all closing documents being signed, the chairman executed a general warranty deed conveying the property to Associated Building and Investment Group, Inc. for the proceeds of the sale, less the payment of the premium for title insurance shall be credited to the county general fund. 5, this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after its adoption. So that's the nitty-gritty. Any questions?
Nope. I don't have that question.
Okay. So, as I stated earlier, the original listing price was $600, and the sale price what the county agreed to was $550 with conditions, and those conditions were read out loud. So I think that was in line with what everybody was requesting or wanted to see happen from the beginning. It's not 600, but it's not less than 550.
The grand total, once all the fees and everything were taken out, was what, like 509?
Yep, within the settlement statement, $508,917.28.
Just shy of 509.
What was it again, Wade?
509, or 508,917.28.
$33,000 of it was commission. Right. I tried to talk her down, but she wasn't having none.
No luck.
She would not negotiate.
Yeah, you tried.
Do we need
She's
to
tough.
disclose what the offer was to, as opposed to our counter, or?
I mean, I think if you want to, usually those things,
I would just considerably less. It was.
Yeah, what was the original offer?
450.
That's what I think.
Yeah, maybe a hair less, I forget the exact, somewhere in that area.
There've been too many moons passed since
Yeah.
that happened.
Yep. So,
Trust Point charges, what, 6%?
yep.
You know, that's a net difference, 41, that's a net difference of 8,000. What expenses made the other 8,000?
Tax.
So there's,
There's closing fees, land title,
Yep.
coverings and all that.
so one of those fees is the county taxes. And although the county owned property where the county did not pay taxes, once it went back on a tax roll, the county had to pay the prorated taxes, which that's also part of this tax proration acknowledgement. And it's included as well, but in essence, that,
Once it goes through the state, it'll come back around eventually.
so now it's back on the tax rolls. And any other questions?
I think so. Me,
Read the motion.
We'll get the funds, we'll deposit the funds and then issue a check to the hospital. That's the procedure.
So the funds are right here.
Okay.
The only question is, Angie indicated before she left, where does it go? It goes to the general fund. And after it goes to the general fund, then you get to decide what you want to do with it, which I think is why
Right.
the hospital's here. And so step one is this, and then if you want to do something after that, then you can have that discussion.
Motion to approve resolution number 2023-10, resolution declaring that certain real estate owned by Coffee County is no longer usable for its intended purpose and cannot prudently be used for public purposes of the county, and authorize the sale of said property.
So,
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Hugian. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. One thing off our list.
So now, I think, the conversation could probably maybe be turned over, although I don't know if you have anything to reference. Originally, I believe, I don't remember which commissioner it was, asked if that money from, the proceeds from the sale of Sunset Manor had been allocated for any purpose for the hospital. And if I recall, that it had been earmarked for something. And the request by the hospital was that those proceeds be funneled back to the hospital for hospital use. That's what I can think. So, I don't know if that helps get you where you want to go, or if you have any specific questions about what that's earmarked for, or
The only thought that I had, and of course everything's history now, because it ended up, being county property, as I understand it. The procedures of selling, I thought, the board here we should have been involved in the discussion. And there's no question, we should have been involved in the discussion, how to proceed ahead, whether to sell it, whether to open it up as a daycare center, or whatever may. But everything was basically done, nearly done, when we even found out about it. And I've got pretty strong feelings on that, Jovan, so, I'm here to support the hospital. Nobody's gonna support it any more than I am. But this is one procedure that wasn't handled right from day one. That's all behind us now. So.
Correct, and I appreciate that, and like you said, earlier on when we were here, we missed that step, and that, we take that and understand.
But to me, that was a pretty important step, because to me, the hospital stepped out of line. Whether it's the executive session, or the board members, or your staff, or a combination of both working, probably a combination of both working together. Selling equipment, and in fact, that was all gone, I think, before we even knew about it, or somewhere close. But like I said, it's a done deal, so we just gotta move ahead in the best interest of the hospital and the county, for what they serve, so.
I'd like to say one thing, a little bit of a rebuttal, but I don't remember the date, but I can look it up, we were here, and I asked specifically, how do you want us to handle the property? And Wade wasn't here, but we had talked about it, so we wished he had. And some of you didn't even know that the deeds were in our name. And the response was, just keep in touch.
Keep in what?
To keep in touch. And that's all. So that's what we did do. So that's a little bit of rebuttal.
So it was deeded in the hospital's name, is that correct?
No, it was in your name, but some of you didn't realize that it was in the Coffee County, that it was in the hospital and not the county.
Yeah, I thought I figured it was in the hospital's name, not Coffee County. So that was.
Well, I think that was a source of some confusion there, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but,
I just figured it was a hospital property, and they do with what they want.
So, I knew that it was in the county, so.
What are the funds, may I ask, what are the funds, what have you got them earmarked for, may I ask?
We have a long list of capital needs. Some of the things that I talked about in here, for example, and I'm not saying this is what it will go to,
No,
because some things
I was just curious.
will pop up quicker. For example, our air conditioner above our ER, we just got a quote today to replace it at $110,000 with a 12-month lead time. And so right now I have 2 portable units trying to keep that ER cool. So things will, we have a long list of capital items that get pushed back, every year for certain reasons.
And I think you brought something up about, parking lot, repair or,
That's on the list,
okay,
in multiple locations.
right. I was just curious.
That's one, yeah.
Right.
So how is the hospital doing?
Busy. We've been quite busy financially, is where you're probably going. We want to talk about that. So, and I'll kind of lead into that for Bill. So as we move into a new EMR, electronic medical record that I've talked about, which is Meditech, a lot of things slow down to almost pause for a while regarding like billing, things going out, and that's common every size of facility. And so that happened to us, of course. We paused. So it took a while to get things caught up behind the scenes, and there's still some things that we're working on. So it looked like our year was starting out really terrible because it's just how it looks. Yeah. But now we're into August, and we closed July. It does look, we're almost even for the year so far. Now we started, it looked a lot worse in the past, but that was just because of the changes with our new EMR and the billing processes. And so we're not quite at break even, but we're under 100,000 of getting there, so that's good.
And 100,000 on 23 million in revenue. Saw the beginning of January cash flow coming in, fall, and then now it's gradually rising. We're about back to the same level as where we were before the new system.
So, if you remember, we've had a very expensive end of last year, beginning of this year. We had our EMR that was sunsetting. That was 1.7 million just paid between January of last year and January of this year that we had to pay out. And then our MRI, the construction alone cost 1.5 million. So we had a pretty expensive bills and projects this year, end of last year and first of this year. So it's definitely been a tough year to get through those two.
Kevin, why don't you share some of the numbers on our MRI that we're bringing in from other hospitals?
Yeah, so that's good. You've heard me talk about that quite a bit, and I know Wade and Steve haven't heard me as much as you guys have, but our MRI, as you all remember, used to be in the rig, a semi out in the EMS bay. We moved it inside. We purchased more what we call coils. These are ways that we can do different exams. So we've never done breast or prostate exams here before through our MRI, and now we can. We purchased the one with the larger bore or the hole where you can go feet first or head first. And so people are hearing about this, and I'm referring to clinics and physicians farther out. And pretty much if you call us today, we're going to get you in today, if not first thing in the morning. If you go to Topeka or places like that, it's three weeks roughly before you get into your appointment. So we've been really marketing our MRI greatly for the last, since May 24th, I think, was our first actual patient day. And we're getting referrals from physicians that we've never received referrals from hospitals and clinics that we've never received referrals from, all the way to Topeka, Chanute, coming up here. Between May 24th and August the 1st, our volume, and this is just rough numbers, we saw 400 and some MRI patients, and if you looked at the whole first 6 months of last year, of all last year we did 500 and some MRIs. So we've already almost met in a short amount of time how many MRIs we did all last year. And so it definitely, thank you for bringing that up. It's a great resource for this community, for our hospital. Again, they don't have to travel for these procedures. It's definitely was a wonderful add to our facility.
You have doctors that can read them, or they have to be sent out to be read?
So our radiology group is out of Wichita, and they read all of our imaging. And we did switch from a group that we've had probably 7 years. We did There were just some reasons why behind that, timeliness and different things. We just switched to the Wichita group earlier this year, and it's been wonderful, great turnaround times. We're very impressed. And we're working with them to see if they could come out and actually do some procedures. A radiologist would come here. We're looking at a couple times a month to actually do procedures that radiologists do, so the patients don't have to go elsewhere for that. So hopefully we'll bring those services back.
The larger bore is very welcome for, as got my shoulder done recently, much nicer than the last time I tore up the other shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing too is it's larger and you can go head or feet first. And just like all things, you know, there's a delay, and I read in the paper of getting your all's dump trucks, or, you know, it's 2 years, 1 year, and that's how it was with the MRI. We were constantly calling Philips, the company that we agreed on purchasing the MRI with.
Yeah.
And so they were on a 4-month delay of getting it, and it actually, that's what it turned out to be, about 4 or 5 months delay. So I called them a couple of times, we set up some meetings with their team, and I said, you know, we're losing revenue. We planned to have this in January, and now we're coming into February or March. So we did get a software program that's about $130,000. We got it free, and I can't remember the name offhand, but what it does is most of the exams can be done 40 to 50% faster than previously. And if you didn't buy that extra bells and whistles, and you didn't have to, it would be the regular, maybe 45 minutes. Now it's maybe 25 minutes.
This was pretty quick.
And then we hear that quite often from our patients now, that it's much faster than it was before, and anywhere else. So we did get something out of that 5-month delay. I wanted a whole second year free of service warranty, because we get the first year free, and that's about $150,000.
That wasn't gonna fly.
No, I tried hard. But I was very happy with it. But you think that this would just be something they would just give you, right, when you bought the unit?
For $1.5 million.
That was just construction.
Oh.
The unit itself is 1.1, and we leased that over 10 years with the dollar purchase of the unit. 7 years. 7 years.
You mentioned you was near a break even. What's your cash flow right now? Is it's in the plus?
It is, but it's
Yes.
been.
I don't know what your depreciation expense is, non-outlay cash, but I was hoping you was in the plus on the cash side of it.
So adding back depreciation, we're definitely in the plus.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime your billing stops, it takes a while to.
The overall billing stopped for 17 days, 19 days. But then there was other delays, like our EMS charges. We had a pause on that for a while. Our swing bed patients, that was paused for quite a bit of time. Anesthesia was paused.
And it just takes some time to catch back up.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. So I got here, within 5 months, I was in this seat, and we had to make a decision, 2 weeks. And most facilities, you have at least a couple of years to prepare. We had less than a year. So, no excuse to anyone before, or it's just, it does show I had a great team to get it pulled off in about 11 months.
How's the nurses and the staffing and stuff like that down there? Is it coming around?
So EMS, I think I called you on that one night. EMS, we've had quite a bit of turnover. 2 of our 6 turnovers in EMS was due to health reasons. One had a business in California on the side, and it got going better, so they left. So there was a couple reasons. We all talked about it. You and I talked about Jared, who was our director. He needed a change of life, and he's very open about that, and so he left. And so it was tight when you're trying to keep 2 rigs running in this county and for transportation or transfers. But we did a very aggressive marketing recruitment, and we hired 3 paramedics pretty quickly. And we have another one coming, so we're only down 2 there, which is amazing. Overall, the system is good. The clinic looks good. Radiology's fully staffed. Everybody needs to knock on wood now, I'm saying these things. The lab looks good. Nursing, it's like everywhere in the world. We will do really well for a while, and then someone moves away, they want to change. So we do have a couple agency nurses in the house, an OB and OB, and one on med at night. And that's where we talk about, Bill and I, quite often, is agency staffing is very expensive. It's gone down quite a bit since the height of COVID, but it's still.
Sorry for my shuffling the papers, but I received a document from, I believe it's the EMS. It was for a standby ambulance. It's a contract service you had.
For like a rodeo or the
Yes.
derby or something.
And I was under the impression that it was all Coffee County, but looking at the agreement, everything says Butler County on it.
So that was for you to review, or for us?
It was brought to my attention that it was done through Coffee County, and it even states Coffee County EMS understands the importance of EMS service.
Oh.
But at the very top, it says Butler County EMS, which is,
We will definitely, I don't know where, I can follow up on that.
unprofessional.
Do you know who the person was
Right.
that sent it to you?
Oh, I know who the person was that sent it, that gave it to me, but I don't know who the person was that gave it
They
to
got it.
them. Probably the person, see, there's no signatures from
From the hospital side.
from the hospital side that I can there's no.
I can talk to Jesse Presley when I get back. He took Jared's position, and he's the one that updated the policy, that agreement. And I know he's used it a couple of times, not knowing if it's that one or not. I know the Derby was one of the ones that he's
Right. That was one of the,
And I think actually there's a rodeo up in the Levo area somewhere that actually used it.
But I kept that for a sunny day.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Always call me on that. Yeah. Don't wait this late.
Well, I wound up losing all my phone numbers, so
Oh.
I don't have anybody's phone
Oh,
number anymore, so. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Sure thing.
I read that and I was like,
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of places, we don't have a mothership or a sister hospital to reach out to for guidance, and so we do reach out to our friends or places that we've maybe worked at before and say, send me your policy, send me your thoughts on this. I would hope that we would update it to
revamp
reflect.
it a little better than that.
I'll find out the story.
Okay.
And I'll report back next time I see you.
Okay. So that's all I had. I knew I was saving it for a reason.
I don't have any.
So now I know when you dig in your drawer that I'm gonna be like.
Just go ahead and leave. I knew I had it, but no, I hope you guys keep going on the plus side. Like I say, I support the hospital as much as possible. But, it's not an easy business to be in down there.
we're fortunate to have a hospital such as this and an EMS service such as this.
Right, for the size of the community.
For the size of the
surrounding
community.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
other
think you-
very close counties that I know of, and I've only been here 2 years, and I know 2 counties that are struggling EMS greatly at staffing and keeping the rigs running. These counties have called us to see if we can get closer to their county and hang out for a while, and so we are very fortunate.
We're also very fortunate with the doctors and nurse practitioners that we have. They're invested in this community and the schools and the churches and whatnot, so, most places don't have the amount of doctors that we have.
And to speak of that, I hope you're seeing us out more and about now in all the communities, all 6 communities that we're a part of. And I say 6 because we're in the center as well, as you know. And so we're through the parades or through lunch and learns, or we're trying to get out as guest speakers at the Rotary clubs and Lions clubs, and to brag about our new toys like the MRI, or to brag about our physicians. And so we definitely are trying to get out and about more to places that we've not been into for years. This weekend, we're the Leroy Homecoming Weekend Parade, 4 o'clock.
Hopefully it cools down.
Yes.
Well, we've got an 11 o'clock
Oh, yeah.
EOC training we gotta jump out to, so thank you for your guys' time.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
coming in.
Thank you,
See.
Take care. So do you guys want to recess? I know you gotta leave at 11:30.
Do we need to come
So
back for
wait,
anything?
do we need to come back for anything to recess before we go to our EOC training?
We either adjourn or we recess, but, so we're gonna come back with you.
If you're coming back, I recess.
Yeah, and you're coming back, aren't you?
Okay. Wade says we're coming back, so we will recess.
Till,
Do we know
till 1,
until 1? Yeah.
that way we do our EOC and lunch.
Lunch, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll be back at 1. We'll recess till 1 p.m.
Learn a lot.
Hmm?
Learn
Learn a lot.
down there.
Better take my glasses, because the board knows what this morning.
Well, I went home for lunch, so my wife takes the chicken salad for me. Awesome.
Salads are good,
I would never turn down a salad.
especially with fresh cucumbers and tomatoes.
I love watermelon. And by the way, Wednesday, up there at Christmas, I think this week and next week, on last week for Hex, they sell their produce up there. It's some of the best watermelon you'll ever eat.
They do a really nice job.
They do, but
That's a
I
heck.
ate that.
Yeah, heck.
I ate a bunch of that yesterday. and said, I wasn't feeling right. I went and checked my blood sugar
You
level.
can't eat half of it.
400.
You're supposed to eat half of it.
Bad sugar.
No, that natural sugar, I need way out.
Are you done, man?
Yeah. I found 2 of those property pins before I came back.
Did you?
Yes, the far west pins are there and very defined, if you will. And I will say that one in the northeast corner would probably, it won't be there, even if it was in concrete or the dirt, just because of all the excavating that was done out here. But I've yet to look at this southeast one. But I did find the 2 north or west ones.
But at least when the survey would have been done, that pin would have been there since that time.
So as far as building, the
Yeah.
city, that was part of our walkthrough the other day as well, was the city zoning advised us to maybe get a survey done. Wade did some digging, actually found it's already been done. So that's what I did when I got back from lunch, see if I could find those 2 west pins, and I did find them. I'm pretty sure I could find this one over here too.
So we're back.
So what I just handed you was the map that the appraiser's office put together to show the boundary lines based on the survey that was done of, I guess, the boundaries of this building.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see, on the west side, the boundary goes, looks like down the middle of the Engel parking for the elementary school.
And that is exactly correct, because there's a control joint right down the center of that parking lot, and those property pins are right in that
Center in
control
that
joint.
control room.
Yeah.
And then on the south side, looks like the majority of that non-commissioned street is the schools.
Well, was that what that drawing showed? Yeah, that's what that drawing shows. That zoning administrator had that in that school page. The road to the south, but we own the road to the west, so
So,
we'll all get along and make it work.
yeah, so the only reason I'm bringing it up is because need to be a discussion probably with both of those, that angled parking and that street. I mean, the school, when we had our meeting last week, I mean, everybody's working well together, but it's more about staying ahead of it and having those discussions ahead of time, kind of like we're doing with the city, so we don't run into any unforeseen or unneeded turbulence, I guess is the best way to put it.
Turbulence is bad. It is.
Yeah. So,
Maybe have Wade's signature on that, landfill bid. Have to wait till next week, Wade
Oh.
Thompson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I can just get it next week.
With that, resolution 910 come through, did everybody sign?
The landfill's coming through now.
Okay.
No, that was that's sunset. That's sunset.
Oh, is that sunset? You already did the landfill? Oh. That's what she was asking about, wasn't it, Wade?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the rest of it right there.
I didn't see that.
All right, so do you want to go through roundtable or go right into what I have?
Let's just dive off into what you got.
Okay. It's a continuation of the executive session from this morning, same people, same basis. I think this one will go in for 10 minutes, and then depending on the outcome of that executive session, it may turn into another one.
Same people minus Wade Thompson.
Yes, sorry.
I will move for a 10-minute executive session.
You move?
Mm-hmm.
I'll start.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Dietz, 10-minute executive session, the board and county counselor, is that what it is today?
What's on?
10 minutes. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will enter at 1:09. It is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, we're back, no action taken. What else, Wade?
Outside of that, that's all I have.
Steve?
Back to the property pin, if we want that property pin located, we're gonna have to get ahold of somebody, but I'll see if I can find this one yet. We probably would need it again, as long as the city can see those two and this third one, and for a permit reason.
Right, yep. But we can give them what we have, and they want something more than.
Who's wanting that?
Before anything happens with the field construction, the city wants the survey and this, so they can issue a permit.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And Wade found the survey that Todd did when he was laying up the parking lot and everything.
Right, okay. Cool. Afternoon, Mr. Skipper.
Good afternoon.
You got any goodies for us today?
I do.
I seen you slipped in here, we was hitting round tables, so you're coming in under the wire.
Thank you. I hope y'all have a good day.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
Wearing
So you
a
got
long
one?
sleeve shirt on a day it's only 80 degrees.
Trying to cover up the pretty.
Do what?
I'm trying to cover up the pretty. I sent an email to the clerk at the end of last week that was distributed to the commission. There's an agreement put together by Joe Serrano. It's the master agreement, and this is what I've really been waiting on so I can confirm and put to rest all the questions that the commission has as to who's paying for what. In regards to the SSM factory, SSM is covering all the costs, 100% of all the infrastructure. They are proposing to build the entire roadway as planned. The road will go past them and stop. At some point, hopefully, the commission will need to extend the road even further. That means you've got other factories locating there.
Are they gonna build the road, or are they gonna pay us for building the road?
The grant is undecided. Normally, the grant likes for the county to be the recipient and the county to run the project, but...
That Blacktop?
Yes, sir. I think this one may run directly through the company, but I won't know until next week. Either way, the county's not paying for it. There is a caveat in this contract that if there are any cost overruns, the county may elect to step in and help. The problem is with the road, not anything else. If the estimate holds up that the engineer put in, that's great.
And the county's part of it wouldn't exceed 500,000, isn't that?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Right.
At the worst case,
Right, that's the worst case.
yes, sir.
What about the value of the land? Been any discussion with the company on the value of the land?
Well, that's what I'm here to actually get ascertained from the commission. With this contract,
I see that.
yes, sir.
I mean, it came to me via email. For whatever reason, I must not have the right program on my computer. It wouldn't open up.
Yeah. If the company pays for everything and doesn't ask the county for a dime and still pays all their taxes, we're not abating any taxes, what would the commission sell the land per acre? And I'll start this off by saying we've had to budget something because of all the different financing and stuff we had to go through. I budgeted $4,000 an acre. So the company is willing to pay that at least. They're at your mercy. They've already said they'll pay whatever you say pay. But again, the commission is not putting any cash into the deal, and they're paying their taxes.
Well, a person would like to help them out in whatever way that we can, but I don't think with what is possibly transpiring up north, I don't think that we're in a position to give property away yet. But on the other hand, though, they are paying full tax. They are, footing the bill for everything. And I think if I remember correctly, I think the county gave it like $1,100 an acre for the property up there. So you'd be getting about 4 times the amount of money that you gave for it. But
Yeah, but 40-some years later, we paid $10,000 an acre for something we could have bought for $500.
Exactly, so, I mean, my first initial gut feeling was $10,000 an acre for that 8 or 9 acres. That way, if we needed to jump in and help with the road, at least you're gonna get some of your money back. But I don't wanna put an extra strain on them as, either, myself thinking, so.
Yeah.
You know, I know some other counties, you know, if they come in and pay for the infrastructure and do this and do that, they deed to the land.
Yep.
You know, and so, I mean, I don't know. When you talk about $5, $6, $7, $8,000 on a $18 million building, that's pretty small percentage,
Yes, sir.
you know.
I would say, knowing their budget, the 10,000 acre probably would, they are gonna be pinching pennies for a little while. They're conservative. They're gonna, if you went to 10,000 acre, that might tap them a little bit, but, I don't know.
I guess my thought on it, for what it's worth, is the first number that popped in my mind was probably 6,000 to 6,500 an acre. Just, that kind of holds where land is bringing right now. I mean, somewhere in that area. And I realize you're talking farm ground at that price, but just food, that's my first thought, was 6,000 to 6,500 an acre. Again, that's.
I'm assuming you agree to this.
Yeah, I've got it up now. There's a number of blanks, which the exercise you're going through to fill in the blanks.
Right.
So the CID special assessment, is that something that probably is next?
As soon as the total tally of total debt is tallied, right before issuance, they'll amortize it out to an equal installment, and that'll be the assessed value, that'll fill in that line. It will equal the debt service. And they're supposed to close sometime mid-September.
And they're putting in the infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
So one of the other areas that had a blank was, what is it?
You know, for the property up north that is, EMP Shield's gonna be involved in, you know, we paid 10 for that. Are we comparing apples and apples? That's an unknown. I'd kinda like to keep them the same price, we possibly could, which would be 10.
You're right, I never thought about
But
that.
we gotta keep them, you know, we gotta keep everybody kind of in the same category, but I don't know what that same category is. You know, this is only 8.9 acres or somewhere in that ballpark. I can see both sides of it, 4, I can see Steve 6. No, so can see 10, but when they're doing all the infrastructure, no tax abatement.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
In the north, up north that I have, that's 70-30. I don't know how it all balances out. I really don't. We've never been in the business selling ground anyway, even though we own some.
Yes, sir.
My thing is,
1,000 acres up there, so.
you know, I mean, this has been in county's property for umpteen years, you know. It was quite a fight and quite a battle for it. There's absolutely zero, other than the airport on it, that we gain zero revenue,
Right.
so to speak, off of. If it wasn't for this company, there probably wouldn't be anything other than can seal up there, you know. So this is going to open the gateway to other places maybe locating there. But what we do today sets precedence of what happens in that area this day forward. Well, for that said property.
Mr. Chairman, I would, for both you and Don, based on your comments, don't box yourself in. There's no rule that says you have to treat anybody the same. You pick and choose every day, you make decisions. The next deal, if they come and say, hey, we need a freebie, if you so desire and want to move forward and sell them land for nothing, by all means, that's still economic development. I wouldn't box yourselves into thinking you have to treat everybody the same and set a precedent. When it comes to economic development, it's one thing when you're treating people, individuals, but businesses, all of them are different.
With the equipment in there, which the equipment will be, tax exempt on it.
Yes, sir.
If it's folded down, it's gonna be tax exempt, and how much the equipment will be in there compared to the balance of the, like the building and everything. Taxes on that is gonna be 10,000 a year, 15,000, 25, you done any checking on that? Or
Yes, sir.
80,000?
Well, it's not 80,000. Well, yeah, it is. It's over 80. Yeah.
25% on what the building costs.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
So their $18 million building, if they're gonna be, just say the building's $10 million,
This,
that puts $8 million in equipment.
yeah, it's about the building's going to be worth about $5 million.
Yeah, it won't be 10, I'm sure, unless
Yeah.
So 25% of 10 million.
25% of 10 is 2.5 million, be 2.5 million.
Well, it's divided by 1,000, then divided by 25% of that. Divided by 4.
You know about what the annual taxes are then?
It's over in the hundreds.
I'm sorry?
It's in the hundreds. I need to refigure it again. I had it figured the other day. I'm sorry. I'll have that. If you'll hang on one second, it'd be interesting to figure that out.
Go for it.
Calculator?
You want a phone calculator?
I can use my hand. I got mine.
You know, you got 50 employees, they may be currently county residents, some of them probably will be. How many employees they bringing in?
64 initially.
And then to run the plant, it's not going to need, I mean, they're not going to need that many to run that particular.
Correct. It'll always stay
Always like to
probably.
make sure you,
What's the assessed value of that land? You can start there and that 80 acres.
Today, pasture, frontage. It's in that 4 to 6.5 probably.
And that's your,
The biggest thing's 8 acres. That's the biggest thing.
sure.
I mean, you know, an 8 acre plot, to go and buy 5 acres, you're gonna be $10,000 an acre, just to build a home site. And that's essentially what it is. With an airport site.
It's exactly $100,000 a year. If the building's worth $5 million.
It'd net us 100,000.
Yes, sir.
And you got possibility of employees coming in and building 8 or 10 houses, and that's a what if,
Yes, sir.
which could very easily be $500 a house.
Yeah, it's true.
Or $1,500 to $2,000 a house.
Yes, sir.
Or 3.
You want me to put it up on the TV?
Sure.
Go through each of the blanks? That may be the easiest.
Whatever we do there, hopefully would set the precedent for the next quarter to half mile north for another business or two to come in there.
If they were willing to do.
If they're willing to do the infrastructure for
Right,
it.
if they're willing to put the money out. It would depend on what, it would depend on what the next one
myself,
is willing to
I couldn't get
do.
it up on my computer or something.
We could tell them what to do.
No, you're right.
Once we do it,
Right,
then we need to try to do the same,
Yeah.
set the example.
Just wanted to try something on Microsoft, I couldn't.
you're right.
There's a blank up above. It's not yellow right there.
Yep, determine the sale of the project site to developer for a price of blank per acre.
Well,
Then we go down here.
that's
Final price. You can tell me to slow down.
I'm having trouble reading it, that's for sure.
Well, we're just looking for the blanks, aren't we?
Yeah.
I can make it bigger too. Does that help?
That'll work.
Is that big enough?
Make us,
Yeah, it's big enough.
make us dizzy.
So here's
Here's like,
the right-of-way section. So I don't know what that timeline is, and that's probably an engineer's.
Yeah. We got a construction kickoff meeting for the road and the grant and all that stuff this coming week. I can get a timeline filled in then.
Keeps rolling.
what's your 750 there represent stand for altogether?
The right-of-way road improvements.
That was the engineering estimate, $750,000.
$750,000.
And Joe Serrano wrote this up.
Yes, sir.
Is this the one he was putting the reversionary clause in?
Yes, sir.
There's a 500 on construction.
The max that it costs the county is no more than 500,000, is that right? That's where that's at?
Yes.
If necessary.
You got a chance to read what you want to read, Don?
Well, there we're saying proceeds of the CID bond shall be reimbursed, or used to reimburse the developer portion of the project cost and county fund, and amounting up to 500,000. That state 500 is ours?
Yes, sir. You keep the 500 unless unless the cost of the road exceeds 750.
Then I'm reading that as the county's funding that 500.
No, sir. That's if the roadway exceeds, in the instance where the roadway comes in over budget, construction costs more, and everybody sits around and has to make a decision, the county can step in and say,
So it's up to the county to pay
if
over
it gets to that.
That's the part that it wouldn't be no more than $500,000 cost to the county if it runs over the 750.
The engineers estimated it to be 750.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So chances are 500 may not be quite.
Not
enough.
lately, based on all the construction. But yes, I would hope it does.
And then it says.
So
it right
Joe
there.
Serrano has looked at, or Toronto has looked at this,
Yes, sir.
or approved. Did
He's
he
gonna
write
do
it?
it up.
And then there's that CID special assessment. Oops.
Which did Serrano. Do we have a number for the population there or not?
Say again, sir?
Did we not have a number that we were anticipating to place in that blank right there of the special assessments?
Yes, sir. Just in case the financing changes, the company has to go up or down on their total with their financing. That will impact the assessment amount. That's why it's blank. He's going to, right before they close on financing, sometime right at September 1st, they'll know what that number is.
Is SSN, have they seen this?
Oh, yes, sir.
And they've technically signed off on it?
Yes, sir.
September 1st is almost tomorrow.
That's right.
It's pretty close, isn't it?
I don't know why they gotta make these contracts 25 pages.
That's attorneys for you.
Pardon?
That's attorneys for
That's
you.
an attorney for you. You're stepping on Wade's toes now.
He's not wrong. I hear it all the time.
Yeah, you're gonna continue to hear it probably.
All you gotta do is go up to Topeka or any legislative session and you get to hear attorneys get involved and muddy up simple words like the and shall. May.
Seem like that word shall comes up quite a bit.
I've always said if, and worry about this.
Yes. If is the longest, shortest word.
There's case law that defines the word shall as either being mandatory or directory.
My main concern is that you had a chance to at least brief it Wade and you're comfortable.
Yeah, he sent it out Friday.
Yeah. Like I said, I couldn't open it at the house. I went down to the computer to the office. What kind of format it came in, I couldn't open it.
And I had actually talked to Serrano too about it. He and I were talking about something else, and he brought this up.
Well, I
think just figuring out what your figure is really what has to be thought about and decided.
The reason that number couldn't be filled in is essentially like, let's say you did go up to 10,000 an acre. They budgeted for, so they have to borrow more money. That's why the assessment column is still blank. They have to.
Them fitting the bill for 100% of the infrastructure, all we gotta do is help out on the road possibly. That, I know it's gonna be setting the precedence for all that land out there, but yet each situation could be a touch different where they're wanting us to pay more for infrastructure, or they're wanting us to have to work financially to where this is basically needle. So, I'm not opposed to we're gonna run across the same thing up there at Vito. What are you gonna want for the land? Well, where do all those chips fly? And then
Literally.
And then, so, that's, again, it's a different situation. So, I mean, I think that's why we have to look at it. Each situation is going to be hopefully, or not, probably be a touch different where you have to make a tough decision if your costs are more out of pocket. So, again, with this being virtually none.
I talked to Corey down at Iowa, who I've gotten pretty well acquainted with the city and the county and sheriff on the Veterans Honor Flight, because they do a great job of helping. And Corey's involved in when they sell ground, and Iowa's got some ground around. And just like you said, every business or every corporation or every company, it's a negotiation deal, and depending on what the company could do, Iowa will make adjustments. Company could do less, and Iowa's going to get more for the land, or maybe even more for the infrastructure. There's almost every situation is a different ballgame. And that's what we're running into here.
It's kind of the way when I talked to Jim Huber over in Emporia. It's kind of the same.
I haven't called Emporia. I'd like to see, but the Emporia's doing a lot of work to the west right now. Yeah. To the west and the southeast. Yeah. Doing a lot of stuff up there. You mentioned what? You mentioned 4,500?
4,000.
4,000?
Yes.
See, I don't want to get to the point of splitting the difference. The difference would be 7.
Well, I would,
I don't think we wanna get too much of a bargain, or too much of a negotiation deal.
I mean, their budgets, they budgeted for, you know, they are paying for 99.9% of everything that's gonna be up there. You know, and hopefully it comes in under budget and we don't owe any money for the road, you know. I would be happy at their budgeted price of $4,000, I guess.
There's another caveat too, they're paying for the county agreed to pay CFS engineer, I think 50,000,
Yeah.
60 or something.
Good.
They're paying that, they're reimbursing the county for that on top of the price of land, and they're also paying $100,000 in admin fee, which is what it took me and Wade or whoever else spent time on this project. So you're getting when their loan closes, you get a check for that amount of money.
So they are reimbursing us for the
Yes, sir.
engineering?
Yes, sir.
And that's
Yeah,
somewhere
I
around
don't-
50,000.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just because they offer 4, that's no sign we gotta accept it, but this one time, maybe with everything they're gonna mean for the county down the road. Taxes?
Years of taxes.
Yes.
4,000 bringing approximately 36.
I don't have a problem with 4,000.
I don't-
After hearing
I think
I don't know.
all the reimbursements and all like that, which is kind of what we've been told, even on the veto chips deal, that everything will come back to us, and it looks like if that falls like this does, then
Exactly the same. That's the way that we structure everybody's financing.
I don't have a problem with it.
are we missing anything, you think? or- Like I say, things come at us awful fast sometimes, and I'm glad this is after lunch where we can just actually calmly, worry about 30 minutes from now.
Whatever the commission decides today, if they do decide anything, it's not binding. We still have 2 weeks, I guess, until, maybe a week before this has to
Just
actually
be
be
a week.
executed.
This 21st.
Yes, that's right.
Do we wanna make a motion? Do we wanna wait till next Monday? Get Mr. Thompson's ideas into this? I mean,
My suggestion would be you kind of have an idea, chew on it, come back next Monday, which is the 28th. That's before, the 1st is when you're wanting to, this agreement will be tightened up. You can take that 4,000, plug that in, maybe come up with the
Assessment.
assessment, so you have that within this agreement too, and then you have the complete picture of what it looks like.
We got checks and vouchers next week as well.
Yeah.
Just throwing
It
that
won't,
out there.
from where we're, this discussion today though, you know, if there's not any changes that we're Bobby's aware of, or Wade's aware of, or we are, I mean, that can probably settle it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But our time is here, so.
And then you have Wade here too to
Yeah,
get
Wade
caught
will
up
be-
to speed, because I think it's important that you all can be here for something like this. These type of agreements are long-lasting, affect things for years on end, so having his input and feedback would be important too, but it sounds like we've come to a consensus, at least with those who are here now. Plug in the 4, and that's the direction you continue to want to go.
Yeah. That's just me.
just because we set a price on this particular project doesn't mean that we wouldn't have a different price for something else.
You gentlemen are the 5 bosses of Coffee County, you can do whatever you want on any given situation.
My thing is, this land wasn't purchased for this. The land up north was purchased for this type of plant. We purchased that land for that, therefore we should be able to get back every dime that we paid for it, for that. Up there. That's my thing. That's how I feel, rather good, bad, or indifferent. We took $4 million out of our kitty to buy that property up there. We need to regain
We need to recover.
everything we can out of that.
This over here was money taken out of the Kitty Lawn Home a long time ago, with no inkling of ever doing anything there other than airport, and then Canfield.
That's right.
So, I would also throw out there, while we're building the road partially to the north, I would personally say while we're there, while it's being done, we continue the road to the north road and be done with it.
Go all the way to
All the way to the north
the
road.
fence line?
Make the loop, back
the
up
fence
on
line?
the up to the north property, up to the north road. That way it's done and over with, we don't gotta reevaluate it later on. That's just my own personal, I mean, 'cause that's probably gonna be what, another year out?
What, the road?
Yeah.
Oh, no. But they hope to be operating by, like, finished, operating, selling goods by, less than a year, like 8 months, total construction, that includes the roadway too.
I just kinda thinking of the budget that we just passed, if the person have that much, have enough to do that continuation of the road before they stop off.
There's one more thing coming. You got Paragon coming right behind this. I hadn't brought it up because not to put too much in our red wagon, but it's similar. Similar size-wise, similar in every way. I'm gonna come back to you on that project. Now, just like this project allowed us to get a grant to pay for the roadway, we can do something similar with Paragon. We can either continue the roadway for another $750,000-800,000, or you can do water improvements. You can do sewer improvements, build a lagoon, or if New Strong wants to work with the county, maybe even hook to New Strong. You'll have another $750,000 to $1 million to play with on that project to do something. It could be the road.
Too bad a person couldn't get both of them going at the same time, add both their monies together to fight the lagoon, or the Blackwater to New Strong.
Yeah, we tried.
Do it all at once.
Is there a room for a lagoon to the east?
You can't have any lagoons.
And stay away from the FFA issues?
You can't have a body of water.
Can't have a body of water around it.
South.
South's the only way to go.
That's right.
The grants you're talking about, are those 75% of the cost, 75% of the, we got a fund of, 25?
That's another thing. The company's paying the match on that grant. So yes, sir, it's a 75% grant, and 25% of it they had to pay. Or a little bit less than 25, it's about 20%. It's a loan, and they're paying it, the company.
So if we extend that on up to the fence line, that's another 1,500 feet or whatever it is. That shows another business. We're getting ready to entice maybe somebody to come in. We're trying to prepare ourselves for it.
Yes, sir. There is a scale of economy with construction, and Tom probably knows this better than anybody, but if you're going to mobilize and put a bunch of equipment in and start pushing dirt, it is cheaper to go ahead and
If we do it all one stretch, probably save 20%.
That's right.
Doing part of it, and then part of it, and then
What kind of an added cost would that be, do you think?
probably an equal amount or more.
Or more.
That's a full mile through there, isn't it?
I think so. Yes, it is.
So you're gonna run it clear to the road?
North Road. And then it's gotta cut back, and then kind of swoop in, because you want to get away from 75 intersection right there.
see that at another 1,300 feet if we go across that, or maybe it's more than that. That pasture, is it a full quarter there?
Yes, sir.
Which would be another 1,300 feet.
How many feet's this frontage road up?
How many foot's on this frontage road that they got for 750, you know?
It's on that drawing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. But I can't remember to find out. Get close.
Person figured out what it's costing per foot anyway. And take it times 1,300. Pretty close.
Well, when I think about that grant, it pretty is gonna have to run through the county. So you'll be
Yeah,
in charge
it
of
was
the,
one, $2.5 million bond. Yeah, it was,
3.5, it's 3.5.
it's free.
Yes, sir.
I knew it was a bond
Yes, sir.
that we were gonna,
Yes, sir. You're allowing them to use your
correct,
debt capacity
correct,
without tying up your debt.
correct.
I think that's a full mile.
It is, if it's
That's
a
a
full
full
section.
That's a full mile. From the airport driveway to the North Road is, I think, a full mile.
It's gotta be a full mile, because the gravel road going west there.
Yeah.
So
And
18th
it's
to
not
19th.
split, so they're
Yeah.
a full mile.
Yeah, that's a full mile. I kept thinking it was a half mile.
Huh.
It's a
That
full-
north pasture, there's a full quarter.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it'd be a full quarter.
That pasture would be a half mile.
You think it's just a half?
That north pasture's gotta be a half mile.
Yeah, I think it's a full quarter. Be 160 acres. It'd be a half mile, cause even Hayden, part of that southwest corner.
From 19th to
Have you got
20th.
Google Earth on your computer?
19th to 20th.
You do?
That would be a half mile
Yeah.
of pasture.
Be a whole 160.
So basically, you're gonna run a frontage road of a mile and some change, once you get your setback turned. You're gonna have,
If you have that measuring tool.
Here you go, Bobby.
Oh, go ahead.
And you can pull up what you're looking at on that.
Thank you. It is a full mile? You got it? Yeah.
Well, I'm looking on
Yeah, we all know it's a.
That entry going into the airport's gotta be, from there north, it's gotta be a mile.
Yes, sir.
19th to 20th.
I ain't got my camera ready.
Yeah, I know.
Think of all of that for Don. I'm sorry.
You wanna see it, Don?
I'm sorry?
You wanna see it up there?
We don't make any difference.
Okay.
I think it's roughly a while, because
See, here's 18.
there's a road going west, and when you get
The 19th.
north up there's that house that sits up the highway, quarter mile. There's a road there goes back east.
21st. From the north side of the airport to the North Road is a full half mile.
Yeah,
And we're still south of there, quite a ways, down to where the building's gonna be.
yeah.
So you're looking at, you're gonna be building at least 3/4 or more a mile of road.
Correct.
From the end of the runway to
That frontage road, they're talking about building a fourth of that at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
I don't think
multiply
that-
whatever that cost is times four.
Times 4.
I don't think that road would need any major ditching. Cause on the east side, that pasture's gonna, it drops off to the east there a little ways.
Yeah, your only worry would be up against the airport boundary fence.
Yeah, that's a mile.
That's what I'm saying, the north end of that airport's right at the half mile line. So you're basically, your road, you're basically doing a whole mile of.
Yeah, I think it's, the entry to the airport is, and all the way north that road is definitely a mile.
Where am I going from?
Cause
Straight down.
Canfield's doesn't take up over a couple hundred feet from
Right there at the entrance, about halfway center of the airport, from that, property line that you just had your cursor on. So meters, yep.
1.6, up
Meters.
1,600.
Meters is a mile.
We own a section to the south and 320 to the north.
5,200
1607.
Didn't know you were
You
fluid.
already calculated it.
Man, what it is. $1,600 times 3. Yep.
Yep, 5,270.
Well, you know, like I say, I don't know how many feet that one proposed road is.
I can tell you.
It can't be much over a fourth.
Go for it. Oh, please. Well, let's restart it.
Start new, far right box. There's already a road there, right?
Talking about building a lagoon.
350 foot or meters, so that's,
That's
1,000.
meters there, that's meters, isn't it?
1,000 foot.
1,000
See,
feet.
that's 1,000 feet. That's close to it.
Oh, there you go, feet.
Change it to feet, tell.
So yeah, that's a fourth. So you just have to multiply that by four, whatever, that's 750,000 times four.
A lot of money. Mm-hmm.
Maybe an opportunity to slag it or do something, because the actual pushing of the earth won't be that much, but you might have to come back in anyways one day and change that road up. It might hurt you to go ahead and pave all the way.
Gravel.
Yeah, you can gravel it, that would be
And cut the
cost
cost
feasible.
down, way down.
That's right,
Then you set your good base there, and then they could always come over and put concrete down on top of it.
that's correct,
Or chip seal.
yeah, that's correct,
Be way cheaper.
yeah.
And,
That and semiconductor probably wants hard to.
well, they do.
Oh, yeah.
They do want hard surface.
Hard surface it all the way as
Show
planned.
footage on that way.
5,297.
Yeah, it should be 5280, so.
Exactly one line.
Yep.
For smooths.
Smooth. Smooth.
48 smoots.
Is that German? Schmoot?
Henry should be kilometer. Is it not?
Schmoots. Real schmoots.
Saw something you do in private.
Yeah, schmoots. All right.
This, one other thing I need, the lieutenant governor was unable to confirm, he had a vacation, family vacation. The governor didn't want to come without the lieutenant governor to the groundbreaking. So, Senator Moran, that worked out good because Senator Moran, if he comes, he wants to be the keynote. He is coming. Senator Moran will be there. Our local legislators, some federal people from USDA, and a bunch of other chip-related people, even some we hadn't even met yet, and all of the Kentucky people. I'd say about 10 or 12 of them will be here on September 1st. And here is just a layout.
So we won't have a governor, lieutenant governor here now.
No, sir. Senator Moran. Paul Hughes is coming.
Oh,
Good.
You're gonna be here September 1st on Friday?
Yes, sir. 1 o'clock. And, that's kind of what I have in mind, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that's the anticipated layout for the location for the groundbreaking, and just generally, unless it rains, that should work. We'll have a pile of dirt and some golden shovels for the commission and Senator Moran and the Kentucky people to take a picture with.
9 o'clock?
Yes, sir. No, 1 o'clock, I'm sorry. 1 o'clock.
How many shovels you got?
10, I can get more.
You gonna paint the blade gold?
I told them not to go crazy on the shovels, but yes, we got 10.
That's the way that's the way they do it over there.
I'll
Yes.
bring one that's been used before. I'm gonna make sure my handle's broke. I don't need a new handle.
They just bought those 4-footers over there, and they had a handle on, they were just the short ones.
These are long handles, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm not tall enough to use these anymore. Now get a backhoe out there and disturb some of the dirt, because it's hard out there. Unless you couldn't get a shovel in it.
Unless we get some rain, it's gonna be.
There's no
This-
rain in sight for 10 days.
No, there's not.
This will be significant. This is one of the first chip-related factories of any size at all starting up in the United States associated with the CHIP Act. This will get a lot of, it'll be good for them. They'll have a lot of attention, and it'll be good because it'll help them on their other projects and customers. They're going to have more customers come out of the woodworks than.
This is good for Coffee County.
It's good for Coffee County.
Yes. I know there's gonna be growing pains. I know there's gonna be problems. The residents are gonna see the growing pains, the residents are gonna see the problems, but we just gotta try to make the best of the situation and work our way through it as we go.
Yes, sir.
You free to get out there that day, Mark?
At the moment, no.
But it will be covered.
I'm sure it'll be covered.
That night,
Also, the smoke thing.
so Mark is putting on, as you all know, a big barbecue competition, a master series at Kelly Park. That night, if the commission would come out and meet a lot of the new Kentucky people that you hadn't met yet, all of them will be out there. They want to buy your dinner. And other people's dinner, not just yours.
What night's that?
That's September 1st, a Friday night, around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Ryan Durst and his band is coming to play.
You supplying dinner?
They would like to cook for you, yes, sir. And the newspaper guy will be there, so you don't have to worry about it.
I'll be tied down.
You tied down? I'll be there.
No, we still got a meeting before that, so.
Yes, sir. Well, that's all I have.
Well, that was enough, Bobby.
Let's hope he'd be down sometime.
Have we heard any new news on the award of dates?
EMP Shield's still scheduled to have a final answer in September. Hopefully early September. Let's keep our fingers crossed. September 6th is supposed to be the deadline. We'll see if it holds. But they've already had positive correspondence, EMP Shield has. So that, I'm not saying they're done, but it's likely they're going to get everything they're asking for. The others still have. I ain't gonna put a percentage on it. They're not as certain as EMP is. By September, it's likely we'll hear a little bit later on those guys.
Still making it.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, sir.
Have a good week. Roundtable. Steve,
Nothing.
Dawn.
The only thing I had on my list was the value of that ground. I think we've discovered that, so. I don't have anything else.
Tom.
No, I think we've covered it all with the parking lot and the drainage issues, and Wade's getting in touch with somebody, am I correct? Or is there anything I can do, should I do, can I do?
I'm putting an email together, I'm gonna copy you on it, I'm gonna send it to River City and to the engineer. Do you think I need to include Kilo as well? And the city.
River City's kind of the construction manager, so I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, not hurt, I guess, but I don't, I kind of look back through the drawings, I don't see anything that's defined there that tells anybody they gotta do something. Something's gotta happen.
Yep.
So, that's it, if there's something I can do. I found those two west property pins. I'll look for this southeastern when I leave. Other than that, I don't think I have something. Oh, yeah, I do too. Part of that walkthrough, after the parking deal with the school, I went and walked through with, Mark Davison, street superintendent. We'd asked several times during design in the parking lot to put a handicap ramp or a crosswalk, if you would, on the west end of the church parking lot to get employees across the street on this end of the parking lot safely. Well, it never got accomplished, never got into design. And so walking out there with Mark Davison, he's agreeing to buy the flashing light where the pedestrian pushes the button and lights flash and get across safely. In order to do that, we'd have to remove about 10 foot of curb. I'm trying to describe it the best way I can, that concrete island closest to Neosho Street on the far west end. You'd have to concrete it in, take out 10 foot of curb, create a handicap ramp, which is not really handicap, but once it hits the road, you about got to. That's per his request to do that. And then he will make paint lines leading up to the handicap stall that's furthest west on this side of the street, where that would create safe crossing for anybody. And even if a person did come down that sidewalk in a wheelchair coming from downtown, they could still cross that. So, I would guess that would be less than, probably get that done for less than $5,000.
It needs to be done.
Well, I remember asking for it, but didn't pursue it. I know before they poured the curbs over there, I suggested to Ryan at the time that maybe we try and figure out something, and that at that time we were in changeover number 4 or 5 or whatever, and he was feeling a little reluctant to do much of anything, which I understood. So I don't know if you guys want to seek bids. I mean, I don't know. Just throwing it out there, but I know, or I think, I should say, before the jail parking lots get destroyed, so to speak, and everybody's parking over there, that we get this accomplished before that. We got some time.
Does it have to be put out for bid? I mean, we're looking at like $5,000.
Yeah, that's a looking at it at a glance again.
Sure.
So, I just remember that the last minute. You can pull up the drawing.
this is, while we're sitting here talking about all these things.
We've always got something to talk about here lately. For a lack for conversation. Or not.
Maybe not.
It's pretty handy, I like that thing. Just not very user friendly for you.
Depends on the day.
Usually when I get frustrated, my face gets real red.
And the top of his head stayed pretty white.
Yeah, it is. That's
It wouldn't be
pretty
big.
calm.
He must take calming medicine. Lots of days of our lives. No, single. Oh.
There we go. These are the pictures.
There's what he was talking about on the other show, that hard surfaced area, whatever's creating a bunch of excess water. It doesn't look like it goes back to the west all that much.
Look how much water's coming down the sidewalk on the left side into it.
Right. I think once you get grass in there, you're not gonna have that, but.
And that's after that pretty good rain too.
3-inch rain, I think, wasn't it? Pretty quick.
Sunday morning, he said he drove out. So there's, I mean, it's not even, of course, you got your silt sock up around that area.
Right.
And they since rip-rapped all that, Kellogg has, really, or prettied it up, so to speak, but
Ain't gonna fix it.
it's not gonna fix it because it's not heading to the bottom, so.
Isn't this what he was talking about, the water's coming down here and then over here is where that box is with, but it's not getting.
It's right there at the, it's
Green
right,
grass,
it's
yeah.
right there.
Yep, but it's coming here and then going there,
Yeah.
over here.
I think they need to raise that from the right side of the picture towards the box. Funnel that water towards that box.
I think it's high enough already, I think it just needs.
Just a natural drain type funnel.
Yeah, there it is.
Of course, like I say, that silt sock doesn't help a whole lot, but.
And all that water coming up from the top right picture, top right of that picture. There's a lot of water coming down from the alley.
And he was saying too that fence that lady put up has dammed up some to where everything that's coming down the alley is just shooting out the alley now.
Not coming across. There's definitely some issues there that need to be tended to.
And so that was his concern, I believe you were there at the time, where does the contract end and begin for this project, so.
Well, it's River City already signed, we already signed off on everything done?
I saw an email come in today wanting a payment for change order or something. It was sent to me and to Angie, I believe. So, remedy one thing and create another.
Yeah. No good deed goes unpunished.
No. But as you can tell, no water's getting that area in it with that silt
No,
sock, and
that's not helping.
until you create that channel, if you will, to get it there, and you may even have to raise something on the back side of that box
To keep it from coming on down across.
or even just jetting out on it. So, I don't know.
And it looked like up near the new parking lot, however it was coming out of that alley, it shot right across that double grate and then down into the street, and then back around.
Yeah, if you notice that first area inlet where they laid all that asphalt out, it did kind of create a
Pocket.
pocket for it to all concentrate there, so it's basically whatever's coming down the alley. And actually the grates on that further south one is a double grate, and that's a single, so I don't know. So, things can be rectified, it's just, if the contract's over, then they can, pass around the road bridge to come in. Remedied or something.
Trying to keep everybody informed.
Has these photos been sent to River City and to?
We just got them.
Oh, okay.
Well, he sent them to me last week. I told him to email them to me so I could forward them to you, and then he sent them to me on my phone. It's like, I don't have it. Yeah, right.
But those will be
Knowledge
sent.
only goes so far, you know, some of that stuff, so.
Yep.
I mean, I looked all over how to forward email. I mean, I spent half hours like, I'll just text them to you. You know how to do it.
Well,
I would be dangerous.
I would say that's gotta go to River City so they can see what's going on there. I think this right out here at the corner of the building's coming from down the sidewalk and the north side of the building running into the sidewalk and out, just the added. And with the sock there, it'd probably help slow it down.
Yeah, I think once you get grass, it won't be.
I think it'll change it all, yeah.
And then all the breaks in concrete, they've been repaired and it's back up and running now.
Yeah, it's got a cure time of about 4 or 5 days, and they just poured on Friday, so you got Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday.
Then there were people who said, "What is happening? You guys are done with this, and now it's being torn up already?"
I can only imagine. Only imagine.
So yeah, the cones won't go away till Wednesday, probably,
Unless somebody moves them.
which that happens. But the I will say this, I've been getting the reports on the cylinder brakes that the compressive strength of the concrete, its spec was 4,000 PSI, and normally in a 7-day break, you only hit 75% of that, which would be around 3,000, and they're hitting 4,200 in 7 days, so.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So we wanna table the crosswalk situation for another day?
I throw it out there, I just know, I think before we make, or before every employee has to park over there, we just make it a safe crossing. I kinda told Mark it will be, probably get accomplished, so we'll go ahead and order the sign, but I don't know how you guys wanna proceed to get it done, I don't.
We have to bid it or just have them come in and do it? 5,000
That's a guess.
roughly.
Yeah, and I think we get it to the, I think if it's under 10, you can get a phone.
Phone quotes.
Do you wanna go to the city and talk to the city about it, so that, I know you've been working with Mark Davidson on that, but just to make sure they're,
The council.
when's their next meeting?
Probably wouldn't hurt the first Wednesday of September. If we can get it done on that five right now, I'd just go ahead as far as I'm concerned. Sounds like it'd be a plus to have it done, so.
First week of September.
I know you're gonna have people complaining, why is there a crosswalk 25 yards from the stop sign? I know you're gonna get that.
Well, true, but I mean, by the same token, if the west side's employee entrance, basically, now to get them across the street safely, they're gonna have to walk to that end of the parking lot, across and then back down. I mean, I'm just trying to keep their best interest.
No, I agree. I agree with you, I was just saying, you're gonna have people going,
Why is there a crosswalk within
Oh.
30 yards of the stop sign crosswalk?
Well, we got 4 handicap places out east on it.
4, and then
Which
2
would
more.
absolutely take more than take care of the, citizens coming in.
And you
Very seldom ever have 1 or 2, but, Becky, how many employees we got that need handicap parking? Just 1?
I think 2 that I know of.
2? And there's 2 handicaps to the north?
Yeah.
Can first just reserve them for the 2 handicap employees?
I don't know.
Then you wouldn't have to do that other, would you?
The crosswalk is just get everybody across the street
Yeah.
safely. It's not anything related to handicap, because across the street, there's nothing handicap over there about it.
Yeah.
And that's where the flashing light would go.
Yes. Of course, the city, you gotta remember the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit was during school only. Now it's a permanent 20-mile-an-hour no matter what, which is probably very wise decision on their part. And appreciate it. I mean, we don't need to go. I mean, I've been out there before where you get somebody from out of town or just not familiar, they just blow through that stop sign.
Do you have something else? I seen smoke rolling.
I wanna make sure Don didn't go and start talking about identify people who are parking in handicap.
Yeah.
Obviously, the people utilize those, but.
Yeah, there's 4 out front,
Yeah, there's 4 out front. I knew there's a couple over here.
2 over there.
And there's that one on the very south end,
Yeah, but it's going away because we told Amber she could park her vehicles there.
so that sign being removed,
Yeah, we'll have
and
to.
it's a big space.
It's a van space. Anybody got anything else? Angie? Oh, yes, definitely, because I knew that was gonna happen. Already received an email from the hospital wondering about the funds and transferring of the funds.
How quickly, like next week, or?
Let's make a motion, we'll
Yep, and, well, the check's in the
In the folder.
package, so it has to go wherever it needs to go and be signed, or however that works, and that you want that amount to go to the hospital to be used for whatever they indicated. It just had to come into the general fund first. Then what you do with it from there is discretionary.
make a motion next week. Or
I don't know
everybody think about it.
I don't know why we can't do it next week.
Yeah. Wait over here then, and
You already got an email on that?
Because it wasn't discussed when they were here, so they were wondering how quickly they could get it.
It kind of was discussed, kind of.
They, I think they said their board meeting is next Monday night, so they may want to have it depicted to their board what happened when the time comes.
We'll do checks and vouchers next week, so it should be no problem for them to pick it up next week, would it?
Oh, I mean, I think as long as they know it's coming, that's probably what they're interested in, but. There were no guarantees anything was happening today, from what I could tell.
None.
But I mean, like next Monday as a special issue or end of month, so we could get it prepared at least.
Let's do it at the end of the month. Do the end of the month. It's just like everybody else.
Do we need to make the motion today so she can write the check though?
It's up to you.
Or you want to, can we do it Monday morning?
Well, then it would be a special issue.
Yeah,
Because
that's my meeting, I guess.
I think Jessica's last day for checks was Wednesday, I think. Or request for check. And then we need to know where to pay from.
Yeah, the general fund, 'cause it goes into the general fund, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna put it in the general courthouse general line item, and then we're gonna pay it from there, right?
Yeah, the resolution just says it has to go into the general fund, and that's what,
Okay.
Well, let's just do a motion, today, that way we can put it in, so it's not a special issue. Sound good?
Yes. Okay. I don't know if you're.
Might as well just get it done.
I'm rebooting.
Okay. My battery went dead, maybe?
No, I shut it off. I thought I was done with motions.
You're done for the day.
Thought I was done for the day.
And I guess you'll need to sign, can you go ahead and sign the check?
yeah.
Or should I sign it, or does it matter?
Well, I normally say. I get 6% for signing that, right? No problem. Transfer funds from the courthouse, transfer deposit, sell proceeds from Manor to courthouse general, and to transfer for pay Coffee County Hospital. Yeah. It's coming.
No, it's updating.
Oh, it's updating?
Mine was trying to do that earlier, and I told it not to. Excuse me.
508,917.28. 917.28. Looks good. Motion to deposit sale proceeds from Sunset Manor into general fund, courthouse general capital outlay line item, and to pay Coffee County Hospital the sum of the proceeds in the amount of $508,917.28.
But you're not paying them, are you? You're dispersing or transferring to them.
Right on the check.
Writing them a check, you're paying them, aren't you not?
Thought.
Should disperse the sale proceeds to Coffee County Hospital?
Yeah, I think you're,
Okay.
I don't think she's paying them.
Can we just fax them the check?
Just sign it, maybe. That way you don't have to deposit it.
But that's not what the motion says.
But can.
Good.
However you want to do it, you just tell me.
I don't know. Can you just sign it and give them a check?
Ask your attorney.
I think it has to come into the general fund first.
Oh, yeah, because of the resolution.
Resolution, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll reread the motion. To deposit sale proceeds from the Sunset Manor into the general fund, courthouse general, capital outlay line item, and to disperse the sale proceeds to Coffee County Hospital in the sum of $508,917.28. Mikey?
Yep.
Okay.
So move.
Moved by Hugo,
I'll say that.
seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Don't forget to put in the minutes that, Wayne Thompson left at 11:30.
Got it.
All your stuff will.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, I believe that's it, right? We voted, all done.
Thank you. I didn't know what to respond on that.
I just knew we'd be getting an email about it.
I can't believe you got an email.
Could you send a message to the fiber board and change my address, my email address to Jesse@nightcruising.net, please?
Mm-hmm.
Because I lost all my Google email.
Okay.
I haven't received a fiber board meeting or anytime. I don't think they had one this month, maybe, I don't know. But anyway,
You get hacked or lose the phone, or both.
it got run over on 75 highway.
At least you know somebody else did get their hands on it.
Yeah,
Okay, you're not just at 73, you're at.
nightcruising.net. Jesse@nightcruising.net. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I was at 22nd and 75 when I realized I didn't have my phone, so needless to say, it was a very fast trip back towards Embankment Road. And I seen it laying in the center yellow stripe, just as I come into New Strong. Did the old Dukes of Hazzard U-turn, and it was too late.
Somebody had already found it.
Yep, with the wheels of an 18-wheeler. It would still ring. That was it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So you was your phone. Remember your password to your iCloud. That's all I have to say. It's simple. Other than that, Lord knows when you're gonna get your stuff back. So, good stuff. Nope. Nobody has anything else? We'll adjourn at 2:39.
I did have one more thing, but